Hello gang, how are you doing? I know it's been a while again, but I've had a lot on my mind recently and I wanted to share a little bit of that with you. So I wanted to talk about this trend I've been noticing recently in the outdoors community, in myself, and that is this emphasis on new outdoor gear, new clothes, new equipment. And I don't mean when stuff is worn out replacing it, I mean like always buying new gear. Every kind of season there's new stuff you can get to replace your old stuff, which is 1,000 times better. And I think that's a habit the population has in general. But I'm talking specifically about the outdoor community because we have this kind of blurred line between the essential stuff that you need. You know, you don't go climbing without a rope, you don't go mountain biking without a helmet on, you don't go out on the mountain without a good set of waterproofs. I'm talking about less essential stuff. And it worries me because I can see the shift happening from people just getting outside and enjoying the outdoors with whatever they've got to getting outside and enjoying the outdoors but with, you know, the best kit and having to put all this money and all this effort into having that piece of equipment rather than thinking about your adventure itself. And that's something that I see with myself. I see myself doing when every time I make a review it's like, why am I thinking so much about, you know, this piece of clothing? Why aren't I thinking more about this trip I'm doing itself? That should be what I'm focused on. So I guess this video is me trying to kind of say to myself, okay, time to mix things up a little bit, time to have a bit of a change around. Because I definitely want to focus more on my trips and on my travel and on my kind of, my outdoors adventures, I guess. So I guess this video started with worn wear. For those who don't know, worn wear is a campaign by Patagonia, and it is to essentially keep outdoor kit that is existing in circulation, and that's either by repairing people's kit and not just Patagonia brand kit, just anything, and also buying second-hand, not always buying the shiny new stuff straight off the shelf. They're going around the country. They've been going around the UK, and I know they've done a little tour in America as well, and they're just going around and patching up people's waterproofs and stitching up people's jackets. And as I said, it doesn't matter that it's not Patagonia branded gear, they're just fixing all this kit. And a lot of that stuff will be destined for the landfill site if it's not fixed, which is another point actually that I'll get onto shortly about the kind of the sustainability of all of this. But I just think it's great that they're going around and fixing this stuff for free so that people can keep using it and save money and just get outside. And again, the saving money thing, that's another point I want to get onto. I've got a lot to cover in this video. Wow. So another little influence for all of this was it's something called the fashion revolution, and I guess this is talking non-outdoor specific, but it's essentially the worn wear of non-outdoorsy folk, and they've got very similar kind of values. In fact, I've got a list somewhere. They have the same emphasis on buying second-hand and also DIY repairing stuff. They also have a focus on hiring, on swapping, on buying vintage. I'm not really sure how that's going to apply to the outdoors world, but I'll think of something. And also on investment, on buying quality pieces that are going to last. I especially like the hire and the swapping ones. That's just a way of keeping any new gear out of circulation entirely by just borrowing off other people essentially. The investment point, that also kind of makes me think a lot. Like Primark, for example. You know, Primark, super cheap, and as an 18-year-old I should probably be absolutely loving that. But it doesn't quite sit right with me. This throwaway culture it's always bothered me. And I guess emphasising, you know, buying something that is going to last you for years is you know, really important actually. And I guess in the outdoors that's even more important, because obviously we're putting our equipment and our clothing through such kind of a battering by going out in all sorts in it. I guess you want things that are built to last and made to last, rather than just getting, you know, the cheapest thing you can and then replacing it when it gives out, and knowing that it is going to give out as well. So both worn wear and the fashion revolution have this emphasis on sustainability. And I guess this is my hippie side coming out here, but I find it really interesting. If you just think about the amount of resources that go into making all these t-shirts and trousers and all the outdoor equipment that we use, it's kind of crazy actually, because yeah, just think about the quantities that go into that, and then when you throw it away because you've ripped a hole in your trousers, it's really a waste, because most of it isn't recycled, most of it is just chucked in landfill. It bothers me. Like, I'm that person who watches all the kind of the documentaries on Netflix about all these environmental issues and about global warming and about climate change and all of this stuff, and then I go out on a walk and I noticed, you know, the weather patterns changing, and I notice all of this stuff, and it all comes back to this kind of consuming that everyone's doing. Another thing that really comes into play, especially with me, is this the spending. The amount of money that we throw at the gear that we use to take us outside. It's ridiculous. Like, I'm 18, I'm on an apprenticeship wage. I can't afford to have this kind of always be spending on new gear, but I don't want to as well. And this is where we get back to this idea of, okay, where's the emphasis at? Is it on getting outside, or is it on the gear we use to get us outside? Because if I spend all my money on brand new shiny gear, I'm not gonna have the money to go on, you know, epic adventures, because I can't do both. So I really have to think about, how am I going to save money? How am I going to get the essential stuff I need cheaper? And how am I going to, you know, just not spend at all? And how can I do that? I definitely think as my own plans and kind of my own aspirations in the outdoors have changed, I'm starting to think more about where I can save money. My travel plans for the next few years are going up, and you know, I'm thinking bigger and further afield, so I really need to come up with some strategies of saving money, and I guess, you know, spending less on outdoors gear is one of those ways. I don't know how much sense this video has made, but I guess as a last point I'm going to go back to worn wear, because they have this last little thing, and it's called the stories we wear. I know, marketing. And it's basically the idea that your outdoors gear needs a bit of character, and all the adventures you go on, everything you do with that piece of kit will, you know, have an impact on that piece of gear, and, you know, give it a bit of character. And they have all these videos on their YouTube channel, which I'll link to down there, that are really inspiring actually. People who have these 30-year-old ski pants and they still go out on the mountains in them. You know, 15-year-old board shorts that are bleached a completely different colour from the amount of times a guy's gone surfing in them. All kinds of really interesting stuff. Jackets that have climbed umpteen different mountains and have about 20 patches on them. This kind of stuff is like, it's really inspiring, and I think it just makes me look at my gear and think, okay, this is too shiny and I need to go on more adventures to kind of get some more scratches on that stuff, and really kind of give it a bit more character. And I think that is where the emphasis is for me now, and for a lot of people, is to get that back to focus on the outdoors, focus on the adventure, and you know what, just kind of forget about what gear it is you're using. As long as it works, that's pretty much all you need. Okay, I think that's everything now. Obviously this is kind of just food for thought. I'm not saying any of this is fact. I just have a think about it, guys. And any kind of thing you want to pop in the comments, go for it. I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts on the whole thing. one quick thing about this channel, guys. I know I haven't posted a video in a while. I'm trying to upload as regularly as I can now. But I get up to a lot of stuff, not all of which makes it onto the channel. So please just check out my Instagram and Facebook and Twitter links. They're all down there. But yeah, check them out. I get up to a lot of stuff that doesn't always make it into a video. Apart from that, thank you very much for sticking it out till the end, guys. Go and have some fun, and I'll see you soon.